Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video, and today is another review of a book that I've read. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn series. I probably consider the first three to be a trilogy, and then the next is a sort of spin-off series because they're following completely new characters. But yeah, let's get into this book. For obvious reasons, I can't tell you a ton about the plot of this book without spoiling everything that happens in the final Empire, the first book in the series. But this series is set in this very interesting world. It has a magic system where you sort of swallow metals, and then you can absorb these metals, and they bring you different sort of powers. And some metals are definitely stronger than the others, but sometimes you can combine the metals to make something completely else as well. And then the final thing I want to say about the magic system is that sometimes some people can only absorb and use one sort of metal. They're called sort of the mistings or the elements, just elementers. And then we have those who can control all of the metals and consume them and use them, and they're called the Mistborns. And in this world we're following a girl named Vin. She is basically a part of the Scar. And this world is sort of divided into three sort of sections. It's ruled by the Lord Ruler, who is, everyone thinks, to be immortal. No one really knows how to, if they're able to stop him. A lot of people want to, especially the rebellion, and there's been a lot of attacks on him, but nothing has really worked, and so everyone believes him to be immortal and try to be rebellious, but also fears him so much that they don't really do anything about it. And then this world is is divided also. There's the Scar, who has the very lower caste, who are basically just slaves and servants and stuff like that. Then there's also some other sort of groups of people who are basically mostly also servants, but they're sort of with different magical abilities as well, but that the Lord Ruler has been able to use for his own purposes. And then we have the noble world, which is where all of the rich people are, and essentially the majority of the Mistborns and elements, people who can use elements here, are also part of the noble world. But in this series we follow this girl called Vin, who is a young girl. She's a Scar, and she's taken in by this man called Kelsier, who's a Mistborn, because he knows that she's a Mistborn as well, which is very rare in the Scar group, because no one really wants a Scar to be Mistborn. And yeah, but then she's taken into join the rebellion towards the Lord Ruler, and she sort of has to go undercover in the noble world. And that's where she meets Elend, who is also one of the main characters of this series. Elend is a nobleman who is part of a very rich and powerful family called the Venture House. And the final Empire actually ends pretty much like it could sort of have been a standalone on its own, because the ending almost wrapped up pretty nicely. So when this book takes off again, it's sometime later. I think a year has passed or something, and then but it builds upon what happened in the first book, obviously, and then something happens that spills this book into motion. I want to say that I really enjoyed this book compared to the Final Empire. The Final Empire I gave it 5 stars, so I really enjoyed it. But I feel like this book had a lot more. They had a lot more different subplots going on in this book than the first one. There was a lot of things that were explored, and there was a lot more world building, and the character development in this one was also really interesting. And then I also really enjoyed that one of the perspectives we also follow in this one is from Sazed, who is one of the characters that is also in the Final Empire, and I really enjoyed his point of views in this book. I really enjoyed learning a lot more about his sort of people and what he sort of figured out. And there's a lot of things that goes on in this book, and some of them were really horrible. I had a hard time in the last couple hundred pages because of the things that happened. It made sense towards the plot, and it would have been very convenient if nothing happened, if no one died. But yeah, it was a really, really great book. And I need a break after this one. I obviously give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed the sequel. But yeah, Brandon Sanderson's definitely become an author that I really want to read all of the books from. So yeah, definitely a book series that I recommend. And I think this is a great place to start on Brandon Sanderson, but I also think you can start a few other places. My opinion is that you shouldn't start with Stormlight Archives because there's only 2 books and it's going to be a 10-book series, so it's going to take forever before you can be caught up with that, because there are going to be a lot of waiting around. So my recommendation is that you start with the Mistborn trilogy and maybe some of his earlier books like The Warbreaker and Elantris. I really enjoy the characters. They're really, really amazing to follow. I just really enjoy all of the explorations there was about the Mistborn, and then there was a couple of plot twists that I didn't expect at all. And that's what I found out. Brandon Sanderson really good at writing plot twists that you don't see coming, and that's been something that's happened in both The Final Empire for me and The Steelheart and this one. These are the 3 books that I've read by him so far. So yeah, definitely recommend this book. So this was my review of Well of Ascension. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read it, if you agree with any of the things that I've been saying. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!